What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. And today we're gonna go over 10 times South Park took things way too far. Before we get on the video, if you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe, and let's get straight on the video with number 10, Mormonism. Anyone who's ever watched South Park knows that religion is certainly not off the table when it comes to making jokes. With elaborate jokes about Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and even Scientology, their main bit about Mormonism is quite possibly the most thought out and therefore notable. In the episode all about Mormons, the entire background of the religion is explained from the beginning with a much more parody-like take on it, of course, with the apparent goal of pointing out the more illogical and humorous aspects of the faith. While members of the Mormon church were at least slightly disgruntled by the episode, even higher ups in the church decided that the bit wasn't overly harmful and therefore took no major issue with it. Number 9, the movie. The South Park movie, bigger, longer, and uncut, had made quite a few major achievements, including being the highest grossing rated R animated film until Sausage Party passed it in 2016, as well as its song Blame Canada being nominated for an Academy Award. The milestone its creators are probably most proud of is holding the Guinness World Record for the most swears in an animated movie. This truly held some staggering numbers, such as almost 150 F-bombs among a total of nearly 400 curses. Not to mention the 200 implicit gestures or 221 violent acts committed throughout its runtime. As you can imagine, setting a record like this doesn't come without some outlash from the public who don't want kids to be drawn to a cartoon movie with such extreme content involved. Number 8, Hell on Earth. In this episode, Satan holds a Halloween party, and one of the guests that showed up caused a lot of rage and anger upon viewers. That guest was Steve Irwin, and the bad thing was that this episode aired only a little bit after his death. In the cartoon, he was portrayed with a stingray protruded from his bloody chest, way too soon. What's even weirder is that the writers knew it was too soon to make a joke of it because other guests at the party were upset that someone would dress up like that. They then brush it off when they realize it is actually Steve Irwin and not someone dressing up as him. Still though, just days after his death, seeing this would make people very angry. Widow Terry Irwin was completely offended and hoped her children never saw this episode. It makes total sense though, because seeing a loved one portrayed like that is just awful. Number 7, proper condom use. Another controversial topic that has been relevant throughout the education system for years now is sexual education. The great debate is whether or not safe sex should be taught within schools. One side says yes because it would help prevent teen pregnancies, while the other side says that since you show them how to have safe sex, it would encourage them to have more sex. Well, in this episode of South Park, writers tried to hit on this topic, and there's a scene where we see Mr. Garrison demonstrate to kindergarteners how to put on a condom with his mouth. He then shows kids different sex positions with really weird names. This episode caused some stir in many countries, causing it to be pushed back or even blocked. Number 6, Refugee Solution. With the political climate being so tense at the time that the episode's sponsored content didn't receive more backlash for its extreme events. Making a clear joke about the Trump campaign at the time, the character Mr. Garrison runs a campaign of his own with a very interesting look on the refugee debate of the time. When asked how to handle the immigration crisis, the school teacher replies that the solution is to F them all to death, something that Garrison takes very seriously. Being a joke about Trump's campaign stance on the issue, the show takes things a bit further than expected, as they never fail to do. In a later episode, we watch Garrison literally go into Canada and sexually assault their leader, another portrayal of Donald Trump, until his heart stops beating. Obviously, this caused a lot of controversy, as no one would want to see their political leader being killed on national TV in a cartoon. Number 5, the China problem. When Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of Crystal Skull was released, many fans had mixed feelings about the reboot, including South Park creators Trey and Matt. Being a show about current and tropical events, the cartoon went on and made sure they poked fun at the movie and Steven Spielberg, who later revealed in an interview that he honestly did enjoy the Indiana Jones movie too. With him saying that, many trolls on the internet came up with the idea that Steven Spielberg raped Indiana Jones, obviously meaning that the director ruined the franchise. In the episode The China Problem, we see Spielberg literally raping Indiana Jones while the South Park kids watch from the sidelines in absolute disgust. Even Paramount was offended and wanted to make the episode disappear. Number 4, Bloody Mary. South Park is never afraid to dive into territory that is completely and wholly controversial. No matter the demographic or the topic, the writers just seem to not care how viewers or the audience will react. In this episode, a statue of the Virgin Mary is seen to have a significant amount of blood coming from her nether regions, an obvious joke about menstruation. The episode is punny as it is titled Bloody Mary. Well, in the episode we see the church community think that this is a miracle, and we even see the Pope examine the statue in very inappropriate areas. People in it claim that the blood had some healing properties. The results of this episode were outrage from, of course, the Catholic League and Catholic viewers. It has been banned in multiple countries and it was taken off the air for quite some time. Number 3, Ginger Kids. This episode from the 9th season of the series has extra weight to it because it inspired real life violence. If you haven't seen the episode, it's probably to a similar effect as you would imagine. The boys go into a series of events triggered by Cartman, where gingers are portrayed as vengeful and creepy people, upset with their discrimination throughout time. Fans didn't only enjoy this, but they took it to another level. In England, students at the Wingfield Academy were apparently inspired to hold their own Kick a Ginger Day by this episode. This clearly had some very real consequences, as one family even took their 13-year-old kid out of school, deciding to wait until they saw that the school was safe enough for him to go back. Number 2, Scott Tenorman's parents. Featured in the episode Scott Tenorman Must Die, Cartman lives out one of his signature moments here when he gets back at a bully from his school. Despite the rather blunt title, many fans didn't expect to see any real death, as it is a rare occurrence on the show, excluding Kenny of course. While Scott might not have bit the bullet on this one, his parents definitely did. After being led onto a stage, then being shot to death, their death was certainly a shock to the audience. Taking this to the extreme as he always does, Cartman then proceeds to cook them up into chili and then serves them to the unsuspecting bully. That is just sick. And number 1, with apologies to Jesse Jackson. You have probably seen memes about this episode of South Park because it is definitely one of the most offensive ones to ever air. Viewers witness as Randy Marsh is a contestant on the Wheel of Fortune, with the last puzzle being N blank GGERS. The hint that is included is people that annoy you. Being South Park and such a wild show to begin with, we saw Randy pronounce the N-word when the actual answer was naggers. From here, the slur was used 43 more uncensored times throughout the episode. The odd thing was that this episode was actually praised for accurately portraying hate speech in today's society. Of course, to parents, the animation was upsetting and revolting, but in opposition, the black community had little outlash. And that is it for this video. As always, thanks for watching. We hope you all enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at Valplana, and I'll see you all later.